Well, what do you think their agenda is?
What I always say when people ask me that, I firmly believe that the group of beings that I work with, they remind me constantly that they're here to help us through this transition, which we need desperately. So, but I certainly know for a fact that there's a group of really bad beings out there too, and I don't talk about them, so a lot of people think that I aren't aware they exist. But there's good and bad, it's just kind of, it's a very large, diverse universe. There's good, bad, and indifferent. But there's certainly good beings there that are there to help us out through this. But they seem to want to stay invisible. They've put a tremendous number of hybrids down on the Earth, which people have a really hard time following. And at one point in my life, I would have too. But at this point, I've been up there, and I remember seeing the tubes and holding them. And there's a tremendous amount of people down here who right now are kind of awakening, and those are all the hybrids. And there's certain mechanisms to make it happen, but that's largely going to be how the world is, by putting those people down here to assist, basically, just compassionate people who want to see things change for the better. So I think that'll be their main mechanism in helping us. I don't expect them to come down and swoop up all the bad guys, but I think. But I think it's kind of a lesson for humanity, because we've let things go so far, and especially in the last 20 years, and here in the United States, the economy is a perfect example. There's going to be folklore for what we're going to go through here on a lot of levels for a long time to come, and hopefully it'll keep us from repeating this mistake, because we've just, everything became so selfish and individual oriented, and really that's not, in my opinion, the way to go. If we all cared about one another, we would get that on the other end, and that's what we need to transition to. But that's my view on it. I think there's certainly good, bad. There are those who don't care, but I think the good ones certainly outweigh the bad. So.
Well, I hope so.
I'm confident of that too. It's funny. They're so logical when they say things that I don't think they mean to have a sense of humor, but anytime I worry about it, they remind me that their plan is statistically impossible for it to fail, apparently. So I don't know what that means, but it makes me feel a little bit better.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. So and so far everything they've said checks out, always just in a weird way. So.
Well, hey, if you get to talk to the ones that are coming by here, tell them to come over here and just land in my yard and wave or something.
Quit screwing around, right? Come on.
Right. As long as I'm not going to get a blast of radiation or something from it.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to stay very long. Just stop and say, hey.
Right. I'd like to see you guys. Yeah, careful what you ask for. Like I told you, I ran and cried like a little girl the first time it happened to me, so
I'm kind of prepared for it, and I even tried to imagine the ugliest ones I could think of. So,
it's funny, and that's something I think we all need to do, because even racism on our own planet is still an issue, which is, to me, like, gosh, if we have problems with different colored humans, I mean, we're going to have to really get past that quick. We're going to have to learn to work with and appreciate beings that look much different than we do. So, yeah,
it might end up being like that bar scene in Star Wars.
I'm not a big Star Wars fan. My kid is. Do they all start fighting each other?
I wasn't a big, person into that, but that part stuck out of my head. They're in the bar and there's all these different alien forms all hanging out at the bar, gurgling and stuff.
Make sure you go check out Allison's YouTube channel if you get a chance. In fact, go to the www.ufozone.ning.com. Allison has some of her videos up there. She's also a member, so maybe she'll come and talk on our forum a little bit. Or you can go straight to her YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/SeeingUFOsPA. SeeingUFOsPA. All right, guys, a little music for you. We'll be right back with some more.